Well, it was an eventful Sunday to say the least.
Let's get it out!
What is up, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of Inside the Lines. I'm your host, Jack House, and today we're going to be going over two stories to talk about here today, all happening this Sunday at Daytona. First, we talk about Daytona 500 pole qualifying. No surprise here, Hendrick Motorsports sweep the front row. In fact, they sweep the first two front rows with its sophomore driver, William Byron, in number 24 car, taking home the pole with Alex Bowman in second, Johnson third, and Chase Elliott in fourth. I believe this is the first time that a team went 1, 2, 3, 4 since Hendrick, but way back. I believe it was in the early 90s or so. I'm not sure, but that is not the big story today. Bowman and Byron locked themselves into 500. The rest of the starting grid will be settled in the Gander RV Duels Thursday, this Thursday. And like I said, that's not the story to talk about. No siree. It was happened. What happened later that night or that day? The clash. And there's not really much to talk about before. We'll get to that, but honestly, this was, if I could just say, this was one of, if not the worst clash I've ever watched. 1 to 10 scale gives 1.5 or 2 out of 10. It was just single file. And I was very disappointed, and I know the package, it makes it difficult to make run or to be able to race hard because, you know, you're very, very unsteady. The cars were, you could see from onboard cameras and even from just the way the cars were driving, it was very unstable, and if they got a bit too racy, it would just cause a huge wreck. But yeah, I'm kind of disappointed that we didn't see a lot more aggressive racing again before what happened, because this is the one opportunity you have to be able to make moves to at least test the waters a bit, because you have to understand, they haven't raced each other, or at least in a pack like this, since Talladega in October. They haven't raced in a pack like this, so at least in this type of scenario, you get some practice in that won't affect your season. Remember, the Clash, it's an exhibition race, no points, no nothing. It's just for fun. So at least I expected more people to try and make more moves, especially near the front of the pack. Maybe go out there to lead a lot more to test, see how to side draft, how to get runs and stuff like that. But yeah, Jimmie Johnson made a very controversial move. I believe it was around 5 or 6 laps ago. Down the back straightaway, Jimmie Johnson got side by side with Paul Menard, made contact with the 21 car, got Menard sideways, and in front of the pack, Menard went. I believe it collected 17 race cars. I do know that of the 20 cars that were there, only 3 of them did not suffer any damage, and that was the 1 car of Kurt Busch, the 12 car of Ryan Blaney, and the 22 car of Joe Logano. And that was the last time that drivers would be on the racetrack, because after that, rain fell through to the track again. This was the 3rd time rain stopped the event. And after that, NASCAR just called the event. And Jimmie Johnson technically gets his first win in over a year. It's an exhibition race, so it doesn't count. But he wins the Clash at Daytona. And obviously, the move that he made caused for a lot of questions. And this is what he said during the wreck. Yeah, 2019 and Menard, we got NASCAR making good changes, and we got Menard throwing shade at a 7-time champion. 2019 is going great. But I would like to talk about that move. A lot of people are going two ways. They're saying Johnson clearly dumped him, or they're saying Menard came down, it was a racing incident, or what. Now, a lot of people might not take my opinion seriously, since I am a 48 fan, so there might be some bias towards there, but I'm going to try to be as neutral as possible. In my opinion, that was a racing incident. For people saying Johnson wrecked him, just straight up, no. That's well, yes, that happened, but it wasn't just a plain straight up dump and run. It wasn't like that. In my opinion, it was a zigzag type moment. It was a racing moment. I feel like Johnson, he was very aggressive. Was way too aggressive. He was so close to Menard's left rear corner panel. Now, and yes, we know with this package, side drafting, you need to be very aggressive with it, but he was a bit too aggressive with that. Now, I will say that while it was a zigzag moment, I feel like Johnson came up more than Menard came down. Menard came down just a tiny bit. You could tell Menard moved to the left by the way the gap was between Menard and the wall. So you know that he moved, just not as much as Johnson moved up to try and side draft off of him. Now, Johnson did talk about the situation during the media center, and this is what he had to say regarding the incident. And I feel this is true. I mean, with the way this package is, with Rain coming out, he felt like that was his only shot to make it. Again, was he way too aggressive? Absolutely. But I feel like that was his only shot to make a move and get the win. Because we saw throughout the entire race, nobody was going to make a move. No one was going to make a move. And so John's like, you know what? Screw it. Make a move. If it works, fine. If it doesn't, fine. It worked, but not the way how he wanted to. He did say that he will talk to Menard, hopefully within the week, to talk about the situation. Now, Jesus, the clash. Let's just go back to the whole race in general. Again, I did talk about earlier on how I would like for drivers to be more aggressive. However, this package, it doesn't really allow you to, because when drivers start to get racy, they wreck. And it's not because, they don't have, they just can't handle it. It's because the cars are way too unstable. They're so sink to the ground. There's no airflow, which doesn't allow cars to have some, some stability help. And if you get just a teeny bit loose, boom, you're gonna wreck. That's just how it is. It's how racing has become with the Gen 6 car lately. Every single year we come back to the restrictor plate tracks, cars get lower and lower and lower to the ground. And if that keeps happening, you're gonna see drivers play it safe, stay up, play it safe with single file racing, and then make a move near the closing laps, and if it works, fine. If it doesn't, then whatever. Now, another story that people were talking is that Jimmie Johnson apparently went below the yellow line to win the clash. Obviously, people like David Land have been saying this. A bunch of other people have been saying this. I don't believe that's the case. And again, I'll show the replay. Johnson was trying to avoid the wreck. Now, I understand he caused the wreck, but according to the rules, he was trying to avoid a wreck, and so he had to go below the yellow line to not get into Menard, or to get away from Menard. And Johnson was already in the lead. He was already in first place when he made that pass. Now, this also refers to what happened last July, where Justin Haley was already in front of the leader when he went below the yellow line. He was already in front of Elliott Sadler, and he went below the yellow line, and he lost race. While Jimmie went below the yellow line while he was already the race leader and was trying to avoid a wreck. He gets to keep his win, really. It's a very shady rule. I don't know. I don't know what to say of it. I'm basically split on this decision. I don't know if he should have been black flagged or he should not have been black flagged. I don't know. All I'm saying is that NASCAR, just for the love of God, just get rid of this yellow line rule. It causes so much controversy. This 2 lines of yellow paint causes so much controversy. And NASCAR, you're very inconsistent with it. You have to admit to that. You guys are very inconsistent with this rule. We don't know what is a definite black flag for below the yellow line or not. We don't, just get rid of the yellow line. Make it easier for everyone. Just get rid of it. So, yeah, that is all I have to say. Clash was awful. Very controversial finish. I'm happy that my driver Jimmie won. It's been since since Dover of 2017 was the last time Jimmie won a real race. I know the Clash isn't a real race, like a points paying race, but whatever. I'm gonna count it. Yeah, overall, great weekend for HMS. Sweeps the front row, or at least the first 2 rows, and Johnson wins the Clash. So good start for the Hendrick Chevy team. And now the next time you'll see cars on track will be on Thursday for the Gander RV duels at Daytona. I believe it's 7 or 8 p.m. on Thursday night. Friday, the Truck Series, Saturday, Xfinity, and then on Sunday, the Daytona 500, which is 7 days away, folks. As much as this Clash kind of affected just a tad bit on my anticipation for the race, I'm still very pumped for this season. Very interested to see how this package can determine the future of NASCAR. But thank you so much for watching the NASCAR UK Inside the Lines Clash post-race review. If you guys enjoyed this video, leave a like and subscribe for more. Most importantly, tell me what do you guys think of the finish? Should Johnson have been black flagged, or should he not have been black flagged? Do you think it was fully Johnson's fault? Do you think it was just a racing incident between Johnson and Menard? Just tell me what do you guys think in the comments down below. Twitter was very toxic. No, no, it wasn't very toxic. Very opinionated. We'll say that on Twitter. So I'd love to get your guys' thoughts on that too. But once again, thank you so much for watching Crowds from NASCAR on MBK, and I'll see you guys in the next video.